on YouTube, it's PTT back at it with another Destiny 2 video. Today guys, we are talking weapons. So we're going to go through all the weapons that I currently have in the beta, and while I don't have all of them, I can show off the ones I do have. We're going to talk about how I think they handle and some of the changes I think need to come with them. Overall, basically just talk about the weapons in general and, you know, whether they're good, whether they're bad, and things like that. So first of all, we shall look at all the ones I do have. We're going to start off with our kinetic weapons. These are our primary weapons, and for this I've got the SMG, the Showrunner. I have the Scout Rifle, Does Not Compute, the Auto Rifle, Scatterlock, the Pulse Rifle, Nightshade, and the Sidearm, the Needle. Now, overall, some of these are pretty good. Some of them are kind of really shocking. We'll start off with the shocking ones, i.e. the sidearm. Be it in the kinetic slot or the energy slot, I think sidearms are very, very weak in Destiny 2 compared to, you know, the state they're in Destiny 1. Are they going to be used a lot in Destiny 2? I don't think so, not unless they're going to get some changes. I mean, I tried it in PvP and couldn't get a kill. Whether that's down to me being poor at PvP or whether they are just that bad, I don't know. Trying to use them in PvE, again, they really weren't very good in my opinion. So for sidearms to kind of be usable to any degree, in my opinion, they do need a slight increase, but I would be very wary as to how they tweak sidearms so that we don't have a similar problem to what we have now in Destiny 1 where sidearms become meta. Next then, the Nightshade Pulse Rifle. Pretty good. Gotta say, I do like this weapon. I've used it again in PvP and PvE. While myself, I'm not very good at it in PvP. I've seen a lot of streamers using it and having a fair amount of fun. In PvE, you know, it's one of those, it is a very nice pulse rifle to use. It's got good impact, very good stability. Things like a laser beam. You know, some of the perks and talents that come with it, like lightweight, are very nice. If you reload after a kill, you get increased damage. Again, this is also very, very nice. So I think pulse rifles sit in a fairly good point at the moment. When you compare them to other weapons, they might need a little tweak as far as time to kill goes compared to other weapons. But again, this is only a beta. We will have to wait and see. Next then, the Scatterlock Auto Rifle. Again, I've used this in PvE and PvP. It's a nice weapon. I do like it in PvE more so than PvP. But again, you know, that's down to me not being the best of PvP players. I have been in competitive matches for PvP where hunters have been running it. Some very good players I had on my team, and they were absolutely melting people with it. You know, people that were using very good weapons like the Nurgle PR4, and they were ripping them to shreds with an auto rifle. So it could potentially just be my poor PvP skills that mean I didn't like this as much in PvP. But for PvE, it is nice. It hits hard. Again, it's got good stability. It's got very good range on it for an auto rifle. Definitely one of those weapons I would play with if you haven't already. Next then, we have the Scout Rifle, Does Not Compute. Now, I've always been a fan of Scout Rifles. Destiny 1, I love them for PvE and PvP. Does not compute, very, very nice, very hard hitting. Okay, this thing has crazy impact, not the best off stability, so you do need to fire it a little bit slower, but it does have a slower fire rate, so it kind of helps you there. PvP was ish. I found if I was in the kind of longer range engagement, so more so in the competitive mode in Countdown, you know, if I was defending, I could very easily sit back, and when the guys were far enough away, you know, I was doing more damage than them because they were using pulse rifles and things like that. With the headshots, you only need a couple of shots to get the kill. So, you know, it is rather nice. I think skilled players could probably use this pretty well in PvP, backed up with, you know, a pulse rifle or something like that for the closer ranges. I do think it's a nice weapon. For PvE, I had a lot of fun. The only downside to me for PvE is the fire rate being a little bit slow. You get into some situations that, you know, you nearly die because of it. But again, if you use it situationally and you're using it in the right ranges, it's a very nice weapon. Moving on to the Showrunner, this is the SMG. Again, to me, in PvP, I'm not over keen on it. I've had a few good kills. I got on a few rather good streaks with it, but I'm not over keen on SMGs as a whole. I will talk why about that in a little bit. Again though, you know, I've watched a lot of streams. Some people, you know, if you go and tune in and watch any of Houndish's videos, the guy absolutely melts with this. I've seen some other good PvPers go and absolutely destroy things with this weapon. Maybe, again, it's just down to me being poor at PvP, or maybe, you know, I just need to get used to how SMGs work, the higher fire rate and the bounce and things like that. Who knows? Personally, I wouldn't use SMGs much for PvP or PvE. In PvE, they just generally don't hit hard enough. They go through their ammo far too quickly. So to me, it's a bit of a no-brainer. Don't use them. But if you guys like them and have a different opinion, please let me know in the comment section down below why. Why am I wrong? I normally am, so I have no worries about people saying I'm wrong. You know, if you like the SMGs, please let me know why. Let's move on to energy weapons. Like I said, I know there's some weapons I'm not covering, guys. That is because I don't have them, so I can't give an opinion on them. So we will move on. In the energy slot, then, we have started off with the hand cannon. Okay, this is the Minuet 42. Not bad. Got to be honest, I've never been a fan of hand cannons. I've liked them in PvE, you know, things like the Fatebringer. They are exceptionally nice, but I've never been a crazy hand cannon player for PvP. I think that's more, again, down to my skill. I know things like the Ice Luna and the Last Word and these kind of weapons were very good in Destiny 1. I personally could never manage to do anything with them. I'm very poor when it comes to hand cannons. You've got to land those shots, something I cannot do. Again though, I've seen people using them and they've been effective. I've seen people using them and they've not been effective. I think if you're a hand cannon player from Destiny 1 in PvP, you will like this. Okay, it's got some good talents on it. It hits hard. In fact, I think it hits harder than the Ice Luna and things like that. Which, you know, again, if you can get used to using hand cannons, I think this will be pretty good for you. For PvE though, again, it just doesn't have what I would look for in a PvE hand cannon. It doesn't have any particular PvE perks on it, you know, things like Firefly and Outlaw that you can really utilize in the PvE environment. So for me, it's not something I use. Again, you guys might disagree and think it's, you know, the bee's knees. Again, let me know that in the comment section down below if that's your thought, and let me know why. Moving on to the auto rifle then. This is the Deathstalker 4AU. This is something I absolutely love for PvE, and I've used it in PvP. I've always liked auto rifles. You know, back in the day when Suros and things like that were actually good in PvP, I was good in PvP. I don't know what it is. I just love auto rifles. I also love SMGs, just not in this game. I don't think they've been handled right. You know, I've always been that PvP player that does kind of tend to run and gun with the SMGs, looking back at Call of Duty and things like that. That's always been how I've gone about it. But the Deathstalker, very nice, although it has a lower impact than some of the other weapons. It has very good stability, it has pretty good range on it. You've got talents like rapid fire, so deep ammo reserves, fast reload when empty. These are all very, very nice. You get when holding down the trigger, this weapon's sway reducing system boosts accuracy and stability over time. And with the stability it has on it, like I say, this thing becomes like a laser beam. I think you auto rifle guys out there will love this for PvE, and you will love it for PvP. I just think it will take, you know, a bit of adapting, not just with the playstyle for PvP in Destiny 2, but the way the weapons feel and work, and I personally feel like there's lower aim assist and things like that. Moving on to what is without a doubt then an amazing weapon for PvP and PvP. PvP and PvP? PvP and PvE. That's the Nurgle PR4. Okay, this is a pulse rifle and the thing is an absolute beast. Even in my hands, okay, someone who's not a good PvPer can go on some fairly good old killing streaks with this thing. It comes with lightweight, it comes with fully auto, so you just hold down the trigger and off it goes. It has very good impact, it has very good range, it has amazing stability and handling. Personally, is it a tad overpowerful? I don't know. Again, we don't have a lot of weapons to kind of, you know, compare these two. But it is a very nice weapon. It's got good time to kill. It's got good target acquisition and things like that. I like the weapon for PvP and PvE. Again, some people are saying it's a bit too powerful. Personally, you know, calling out that weapons are too powerful or not too powerful, in certain situations in a beta isn't the best of things, because we don't exactly have a lot of weapons to compare them to. You know, that could be pulse rifles as a whole. They could be very good at target acquisition. They could have very time to kills across the board, and it won't seem powerful when you play with other weapons. Again, so who knows? I love this weapon. I would definitely check it out for PvE and for PvP if you haven't played with it yet. Next, we will move on to the, I think it's supposed to be the Posthumous MG4. It is an SMG. Again, I'm not over keen on SMGs. I don't like the way they work in Destiny 2. They have, you know, fairly low mags to the high rate of fire. I think if you're going to have such a high fire rated weapon, they definitely have to have bigger magazine sizes. This thing also comes with lightweight, and it comes with the same auto rifle perk that we saw on the Deathstalker, whereas holding down the trigger increases the sway reduction and boosts your accuracy and stability over time. But again, I just don't feel that SMGs are in too much of a viable place. Definitely for PvE. For PvP, it might just be down to my, you know, personal inability to PvP that makes them feel worse than they possibly are. Again though, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Moving on to the Urchin 3SI. This is a sidearm. Again, it comes with lightweight. It comes with precision kills, greatly decrease the reload speed. Again though, for me, sidearms are not in a very good place at the moment. You can let off an entire clip into, you know, weakish enemies for PvE and still not kill them. For PvP, there's always something that's going to kill you quicker than a sidearm. So again, I don't know if it's just me, but I have seen a lot of people talking about sidearms being underwhelming in the beta. But again, you know, we are playing an older version. Bungie have already said that. There are a lot of tweaks coming already for things like ammo and certain weapon types and things like that for the final release. So again, we'll have to wait and see. Moving on to power weapons. Okay, let's start off with what is an absolute beast, and everyone is calling it out as that the main ingredient. This is a fusion rifle. And wow, what can I say? Even for me, I'm going to try and pull some footage up in the background, but even for me, being able to go and take out an entire team with a fusion rifle is absolutely insane. You know, the thing hits so hard, it is unbelievable. It is very stable. It has talents like precision, so the recoil pattern is more vertical, meaning you can aim mid to high chest and finish with their head. It is very, very, very nice. Does it borderline on tad powerful? I think it does compared to other power weapons. But again, we don't know how it stacks up against other fusion rifles. It might just be fusion rifles in general are fairly powerful, and we will have to wait until September to find out. Moving on to the grenade launcher, then the is this the Acanthia D? Grenade launchers feel pretty cool to me. It is something new, something we've not played with before, so I kind of like them. However, I do find that, you know, the time to kill isn't the best. You can let off a fair few rounds into enemies and it doesn't do a lot. Against the boss in the Inverted Spire Strike, I found it didn't do too much compared to other power weapons. Does this need to boost up a little bit? Who knows? Again, we'll have to wait and see. I would love to know what you guys think of grenade launchers in the comment section down below, because I think as much as everyone has fun with them because they're new, I do think they're a little underwhelming at the moment. Moving on next to the linear fusion rifle. This is very good fun to play with if you haven't yet. It's the Tarantula 3FR, and it is the linear fusion rifle. For those of you who played Destiny 1, think Queenbreaker's bow, think Sleeper Simulant, single fire, very, very nice. And the thing has pretty good range to it as well. You can almost use it like a sniper rifle. It's got fairly good stability. The impact isn't too bad. If you land your headshots, you will get the kills with it. In PvE, I think it's a little bit weaker. You know, people come out and obviously compare things to Sleeper, Queenbreakers as an archetype, and we're so used to those weapons being crazy powerful in Destiny 1, it makes them feel a bit underpowered in Destiny 2, but I do think it's in a fairly good place. If we were to get more heavy ammo drops, which we do know is coming for the final release of the game, I think these will get used a lot more and be a little bit better. Moving on to the retro futurist shotgun then. Got to play with this a few times, very hard hitting, exceptional range, okay? I've got to say, the one weapon that I've seen And not just from personal experience, but other people talking about it as well. I think the range is way too far on this shotgun. I have seen people hitting across the map with it, and never should a shotgun do that. You know, in my opinion, a shotgun should be a one-shot kill weapon if you're within X amount of meters of them. You know, it is what it is. It's a shotgun. It should absolutely destroy it up close and personal. But when you get a little bit kind of medium to long range, there is no way even a Guardian that is weak should be shot and killed by a shotgun when you're halfway across the map. But again, it's nice. PvE, again, it's very nice. Would I run a shotgun in my power weapons? Probably not. I would probably run something like the linear fusion rifle or the rocket launcher, or even just a standard fusion rifle. These, to me, are a lot better at power weapons. We know, as I said, there are heavy ammo changes or power ammo changes coming in the final release, so we'll be able to use power weapons a lot more. Maybe that will say, okay, shotguns will be a little bit better because you can use them more often. But again, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, guys. What are we going to cover next? Let's take a look at the rocket launcher. This is the Morigian D. Okay, this is a hacky weapon. And it's not too bad, I have to be honest. I've been lucky enough to get one and use it a few times. It has hacky precision frame. This weapon fires a small auto-tracking missile. Missile locks onto targets when aimed. I find like the target acquisition on the auto-tracking isn't as good as what we've seen in Destiny 1. Again, though, we're used to things like the Gjallarhorn, and they have very good target acquisition. They have very good lock-ons. I feel like the lock-on has been knocked down a little bit in Destiny 2. I think that it doesn't hit as hard as I was expecting it to as a rocket launcher, be it in PvP or PvE. I've used it in PvP. I've got a few guys where I've got it to lock on, it's gone and, you know, just missed them and hit maybe a wall behind them or the floor just next to them, and it hasn't killed them. So again, I think maybe there needs to be a little look at it. But again, you know, this is an older version. Things might have changed come the actual release. We will have to wait and find out. But at the moment, I wouldn't use a rocket launcher as a main. I would take it in for maybe some crowd control, but I would definitely not use it as a main power weapon because I just don't think this version is any good. But again, I say all of this, guys. We are working on a very limited armory at the moment for the beta. We're going to have so many weapons to play with come the actual release. I think that some things will change. There will obviously be top-tiered weapons and middle-tier weapons and low throwaway weapons. The good thing about that now is that Bungie can tweak individual weapons. And something I hope they do going forward with Destiny 2 is that if you find a weapon that is very underpowered, rather than bringing the more powerful weapons down to its level, that they actually buff up the weaker weapons. I think that's always the better way to go. Buff the weaker things rather than necessarily nerfing the stronger things. But that being said, occasionally you will get a weapon, it will be crazy powerful, it will outperform everything else in its class and everything from all the other classes. That then will need to be toned down because you can't just make every weapon, you know, that crazy powerful. But again, guys, these are only my thoughts and opinions. I would love to know your thoughts and opinions. What's been your experiences with weapons for PvP, for PvE going through the beta? Anything you would change, anything you wouldn't change, anything you're looking forward to, you know, using as your main weapons when Destiny 2 comes out? Let me know all that jazz in the comments section down below. But that is going to wrap up the video. I've waffled on for far too long. If you made it to the end, thank you very much. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Plenty more Destiny 2 videos coming your way. Drop a like on the video only if you see fit. But for now, Guardians, until the next video, I'll catch you all soon.